I said, really, there is, because I was an antique dealer for so long, there was a vase there that was Nippon. I knew it was Nippon. It was not marked Nippon, but I knew it was valuable. And I said, well, what about this? She goes, I took it from the house before you did my mom's sale, but it's so ugly, I decided to donate it. Well, I put it on eBay, and her worthless vase is now a vase. We got
Key West Porch Talk, your home navigator. From the keys to the seas, it's all a thrill with Ruth, your trusted realtor.
What?
Welcome. This is Key West Porch Talk. I'm Ruth, your Keys to the Seas realtor with Lafreno Real Estate at 1120 Duval Street in sunny Key West, Florida. Have you ever wondered what you're going to do with all that stuff that's in the house that you need to sell? Well, I've got the answer for you, and it's Susie's estate sale. And today I want to welcome Susie to our podcast. Susie, hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about this.
I'm excited to hear all your stories and everything that you can share with our guests. If you could tell us a little bit about your background, and please, if you could pronounce your last name, I would love that.
All the time. Okay. Sue Paskedra, and I started off years ago. When I got out of school, I went into the beauty industry. I was a rep and then a manager for a cosmetic company, Borghese. And then, and I married and had kids. Once the kids got into school, I needed to go back to work because I had left for a couple of years just to, get the kids raised. And so
right.
And I did not want to go back into the beauty industry. So I started out as an antique dealer because I love antiques. And this was in the Chicagoland area. My favorite was going out to the farm auctions when somebody's whole life was out on hay rack, and we would bid on it and stuff. Then as antiques started to die quite a bit, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go into these estate sales that I've been going to. And it just skyrocketed from there. However, in Chicago, where I was doing this, I had over 200 companies that I competed with.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's a lot. And so then I went through nasty, horrible divorce, and we had two homes, one there and one down here at the golf course. So I said, I'll take this and go to Key West, which
of course
I have never looked back. I got to tell you, this is my dream. I had no idea that this would be my life.
And this is a great life.
It's absolutely wonderful. And I have no competition down here.
Right.
I am the only person down here who does this professionally. So it's just been a miracle.
So that means you're either sane or you're crazy, right?
Yes. I think it's a little bit of both, but it's absolutely wonderful.
Oh, great. And, well, I am so glad you're here with us. And first of all, just tell the viewers how they can contact you.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. You can get a hold of me by going to our website, which is Susie's, SUSIES, keywestestatesales.net. Susie's is on Facebook, also Susie's Estate Sales, or just give me a call at area code 708-557-9180.
Great, excellent. We'll repeat that phone number again at the end.
Okay.
That's perfect. Yes. So you have been in Key West running your estate sales for how long?
Well, I started the business back in 1997. The divorce went through in 2013. I came down here in 2012. So I've been here since 2012.
Okay, great. Excellent. Yes. A good number of years.
Yes.
So I know that you did not imagine the estate sale would be what it is today. Can you tell us approximately how many homes you've probably done estate sales for?
Oh gosh, I wish I knew.
It's been hundreds though, right?
Hundreds. Yeah. Definitely hundreds. Because we do one pretty much every week. We'll go through in the summer where we'll have 2 or 3 weeks in a row that we don't. But and Amy Jameson, who I have to give credit to, she actually runs the company. I just show up and say, hey, I'm Susie. But she has a map of Key West and the Florida Keys in our office, and she puts a little star, and let me tell you, it's pretty much filled up.
Oh, I'm gonna have to come look at that map.
Yes,
I bet that's pretty incredible. That's great. So when somebody first calls you and wants to do business with you, what does that first call feel like? I mean, what's going on in that person's life that they reach out and call you?
Well, usually we do sales because somebody has passed away, or a lot of it now is people who are moving away, moving to the mainland, either for health reasons or they've got grandbabies up there, just a different time of their life. Sometimes divorce.
Oh.
And so they call me, I go, I have my presentation book. I let them know that we are licensed, we are bonded, we are insured. I am a personal property appraiser. So if somebody passes away, the courts call me to do the appraisal on that, which just means that we know how to value things.
That's great.
So I go through and I let them know that I make sure that there's enough for an estate sale. We need $8,000 to $10,000 worth to make it worth our while. We are on commission, so the more money I make them, the more money I make me.
Very good.
So there's that, and then we also take consignments for things like jewelry, 14 karat gold or any kind of gold things. We will send to our smelter up in Chicago for that. We get the best prices for that. Artwork and a lot of things that are more valuable. Now we have 100 to 125 people in line each day, Friday or Saturday. Right, Friday and Saturday.
Because all of your estate sales are in person.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, they are. However, some things, even with all those people, we draw from as far as Key Largo. Somebody, if they're on the mainland in Miami, every once in a while will come up, but it is a limited audience. Mm-hmm. So some things just need to go on eBay, where it's a worldwide audience and it's an auction venue. And we can get into a little bit later some of the success stories on that. Great. We just had one that something that sold at Sotheby's. So we have all these different resources. Our first rule to them is do not throw anything away. And my example for that is back in Chicago, a woman, her mother had passed away, and she had us come in, and we did very well for her. Then the daughter was going to move down here to Florida. Mm-hmm. So I went and did my little walkthrough, and I said, Lynn, I'm so sorry you don't have enough for an estate sale. I said, but what's all that in the corner? She said, oh, that's my Salvation Army pile. I said, really? There is, because I was an antique dealer for so long, there was a vase there that was Nippon. I knew it was Nippon. It was not marked Nippon, but I knew it was valuable. And I said, well, what about this? She goes, I took it from the house before you did my mom's sale, but it's so ugly I decided to donate it. Well, I put it on eBay, and her worthless vase is now a vase. We got $6,450
oh my goodness,
for
that's
it,
a great
and she
story.
was going to throw it away. I could tell you a ton of stories like that. So our first thing is, please don't throw anything away. We one of our taglines is that we sell everything from the fine antiques down to a half a bag of kitty litter. And we're serious. So do not let us be the judge of that, because we don't want you to throw something away.
Yes, yeah. You're hitting upon several of my questions, so keep going. This is great. Okay, it's very informative.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And so we do a 2-day sale, Friday and Saturday. So Monday through Thursday, we're doing our setup. We mark absolutely everything in the house. Amy takes incredible pictures. We put them on the internet. And again, we have such a following. We have, I think it's 6,300 followers on Susie's Estate's Facebook page.
Wow, that's great. So that's what you need to get on, folks, if you want to see everything at the estate sales, is Susie's Facebook page.
Right, yeah, and then she does a Tuesday teaser and a wonderful Wednesday or wacky Wednesday. So, we've got a lot of exposure on these things. Then the sale is Friday and Saturday from 9 till noon. Back in Chicago, we used to do it till 3 o'clock, but here everybody's out on their boat by then. So, so we're
you
not
got to do it early. So, let them go.
And Friday, everything is full price. Nobody's going to get a deal on Friday. Saturday, some things go down 10, 20%, 30%. Everything else is half off. And that's when they're buying the beat up pots and pans, the used Tupperware, a half a bottle of Windex. I mean, and everybody thinks it's just the furniture. No. But it's all these other little things that add up, and then all the hidden treasures.
It's great. I have a story, actually. I came to one of your sales, and it was the first day. It was the Friday, and I walked through the house, and, you had lots of small stuff.
Right.
And it was a lot of small stuff, and I was just passing through the living room, and on this table, there were a couple of glasses, maybe half a dozen glasses, but I found 2 gorgeous glasses. They were gold trimmed, and all of the I don't know what you'd call it. They have dragon faces on the
Okay.
glasses. They were all in gold. They're gorgeous. So I bought them.
Awesome.
I bought them.
Yep.
I think they were like $10 each, but I was like, I'm buying those. I loved them. They were all this gold, intricate pictures of dragons on the glass. They're fabulous.
Awesome. See,
I love
yeah,
them.
and I love those stories. I love that now that has a place in your home, and
It
it's
does.
treasure,
Yes.
and it's not in the landfill.
That's right.
So
And they're beautiful, and they're they're a conversation piece.
right, and you got them at a great deal.
I did at Susie's estate.
That's right. So then when we're done, and we have been selling lately down to the bare walls. I mean, it's just been beyond my wildest dreams. And then afterwards, we have Salvation Army come. They take away everything else, and you get a donation receipt for that.
Yep.
The house is emptied and swept and ready to go.
Ready to go on the market.
Right. So we say, please let us be your easy button.
That's
because
right.
if you try to do this yourself, a lot of people, they try to do it themselves, and what they're going to do is overvalue things because they remember when they were in Paris and they bought this, so it's worth a lot, or
they'll undervalue it,
or they're going to give away a $6,400 vase.
There you
exactly
go.
Right.
Exactly. Yes. Wow. So, people see this estate sale and they're like, well, I just had a garage sale last week. What's the difference between your estate sale and a garage sale?
Yes. Yeah. Again, we have to have 8,000 to 10,000 to make it worth it. And we have to have higher end things. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And because you're an appraiser of those goods, you can tell that right away walking through a home.
Right.
Yep.
And another example of something that somebody would have thrown away. I love this story. So we did a sale for Judge Koenig when his mother passed away over on Flagler years ago. And in her bathroom, her ensuite bathroom, under the sink, behind the Drano and the plunger, right. I pull out this little bag. And it ended up being her gold teeth. And we find that a lot with depression babies, that they keep the gold teeth, but usually they're in the jewelry box or something. Anybody else would have pulled this out
along with the Drano and the plunger and thrown it out.
It out, right? Or they would have went, ugh. So I took them to Judge Koenig and I said, Tim, I know this is kind of creepy, but do you mind if I sell your mom's teeth on eBay? And he took a couple steps back and he's like, okay. And so again, Amy, who does all of the eBay for us, she has a tooth phobia. And she's like, I won't look at them. I won't touch them. Just tell me what to type. I won't even photograph them. I'm sorry, I can't. Well, we put those teeth on, those few gold teeth. We brought in $860, I believe it was. Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Again, anybody else would have thrown that away.
Yep. You just never know.
Right.
Yeah. And but you know.
And I do just from years of experience. And
yes.
that's where that comes in.
That's great. Excellent. So I know that you do a lot with people who are moving because of health reasons. What about just a general sale? Do you get people like, I know that when we put a big house on the market, a lot of times there's a lot of clutter. People have owned stuff for years and years and years, and we don't know how to value it and what they should have on display and what they shouldn't. Do they, can we call you for that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Actually, this weekend, we're doing one that they're doing a total remodel. And the designer was the one who called us, and they want all of the furniture out of there. It's all high-end room and board furniture.
Wonderful.
And decor and stuff. And that's pretty much all we have. And that's all going to go, so that then on Sunday they're going to paint, and Monday the new furniture comes in.
Fabulous.
So yes, definitely things like that. We did one.
Oh, you just did one recently on a sale. Somebody already had bought it.
Right.
With stuff.
Right. Yes, we did one. We did one over on Catherine Street where we sold the kitchen cabinets. We sold the toilets, the vanities, all of the appliances. Yes.
Because they wanted to remodel.
Because this was a situation where the kitchen was upstairs and the bedrooms were downstairs. So the woman who bought it was going to flip it. So, again, everything went. We went, seriously down to the bare walls.
This was great. So many options for our listeners that have homes that want to, need your help. Going to need to clear it out no matter what.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. So what is the ideal time for someone to call you? What's your timeline?
We would like them to call us as soon as they put the house on the market, because we are booked up now through, I think it's the first week of May. We book up very quickly. So, and then there's two schools of thought on when to do the sale. So the
Ooh, I want to have
Sorry,
fun.
somebody's calling
phone.
me now. Yes.
Perfect timing.
Exactly. Yes. Sorry about that. So there's two schools of thought on when to have the estate sale. If your furnishings and your decor and everything is very neutral or very Key Westy, then we say let's have it after the house sells, between when the house sells and when it actually
That way
closes.
we're not having an empty home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. However, if and so that kind of gets tight sometimes, that timeline, especially if we have a cash buyer. So, definitely let's get you on the schedule tentatively. The other school of thought is if you have a lot of antiques or you have furniture that isn't quite something that the buyer of the house sometimes can't see past that.
Correct.
So in those cases, we say either declutter and get rid of all of that stuff, but don't get rid of it completely. Get a storage unit or something.
And then you'll do the sale after the fact.
Right. And
for
then,
them.
yeah, we'll do the sale after the fact.
And would you do it from their storage facility? Have you
No,
done
no.
that?
We bring everything
it
back into
to
the house. Yeah.
Okay.
Or if it's just, like it, a little old lady house like mine. Now mine's filled with antiques and little old lady stuff. In that case, we say, let's get it out of there. Let's do the sale so that people can actually see the house and imagine their things in there.
Right. Because it's kind of two schools of thought on selling too, because sometimes the buyer can't see a blank slate.
Right.
Sometimes they want a blank slate. So
right.
It's a balancing act.
Yes.
Perfect. Excellent. That's great. Good. Let's see. When you work with families during these emotional times, and how do you handle that? I'm sure that it's almost like having to be a bit of a counselor at some points.
Yes.
Because, the loss of a loved one.
Yes. And sometimes it's very hard and very emotional. And so that's another reason for us to come in and see. And because, again, a lot of people emotionally are going to have a hard time letting go of things. So, and we want them to take everything that they want out of there before we come in, because I don't want to see this that is for sale, isn't for sale. It's very hard that way. So we ask them to take their things out first. And they, again, with the emotions are, I tell them, there again, two schools of thought is please take anything that means something to you. Please, if you're even wavering, take it, because I can always sell it for you later, but I can't get it back.
Right.
So, however, on the other end, if you take everything then we don't sell it, then you're going to be stuck with it.
Right.
So that's when your possessions possess you. So if you get into that situation, you're going to be stuck with that thing. Your possessions possess you.
I'm sure you have a lot of in-depth conversations with these folks.
I do.
With. Yeah.
But I want them to know that we're on the same side.
Yes.
It's not them against me. I'm there to help them. And again, the more money I make them, the more money I make me. And I want us all to make money.
Right.
But again, I don't want them to regret.
Right. If they're just
selling.
Taking personal possessions and then just stockpiling them somewhere else, that doesn't help them at all.
Right.
Yeah. So, helping them to understand the letting go process probably helps a lot.
Right.
Yeah. Excellent. I'm glad that you have that service as well. That's really important.
Right.
Yeah. So how about a couple of stories about something that really surprised you in a sale?
Okay.
I know, besides the gold teeth and the vase, but I'm sure there's something that just like, whoa.
Yes. Yeah. One of our favorite things to sell is art. And I've got two stories. We did one over on 7th Street for a woman. And there was a piece of art, not particularly what I would call a beautiful piece, but it was over her sofa. And I just asked casually, I didn't have any motives. And I said, is that piece for sale? And she said, well, the thing is, I inherited it when my grandfather died. My dad said it's worth between $2,000 and $3,000. So if you can get me, you can only sell it if you can get me $2,000 to $3,000. As she's talking, I'm going through my research on my phone. And I said, Susan, yes, we will get more than $2,000 to $3,000. And I will only do this sale if we can do that painting, because the sale really itself didn't have that much.
The painting was the key.
The painting ended up being the key. So her $2,000 to $3,000 painting, we put it on eBay because, again, we needed a worldwide audience with this. It was a Vietnamese painter by the name of Lee Pho, who had passed away, and his stuff was quite valuable. So again, worldwide audience. And we put it on for $48,000. We got $50,211.
$50,000 for a painting that she thought was worth a couple thousand. That's incredible.
Well, my next story is even better. And this one, if anybody
all right, I hope everybody's
me,
listening
now. Yes, I hope everybody who knows me has already heard this story. But we did one over on Von Pfister a couple of months ago. And there was a painting, a large painting, and they're very, very old. It was from the 1800s. And it was really, the subject matter was very dark. It was a young man on a mountain trying to kill an eagle who was hovering over the baby's eagle's nest. And then the mother was dead at the foot of the mountain.
Oh.
And he was trying, just very, very dark.
Oh.
So I asked the family about it, and she said it hung in their home up in Chicago, because they obviously were from Chicago also. And she said, as a little girl, I was frightened to go down there because it was just so scary. She goes, I can't wait to get rid of that. I can't wait to get rid of that. And then there was also a vase there that was not particularly pretty. So anyway, we put the picture up of the painting of the eagles, and a gentleman called me right away, and he said, I want to buy that for my son's bedroom.
Wow.
Really? And he said, how much is it? I want to buy it now. And I said, once the pictures go up, I cannot pre-sell anything, because then that's my integrity that's at question. So I can't pre-sell it. And he's like, well, it's just for my kid's bedroom. It's well, how much are you going to ask for it? I said, I don't know. I haven't done my research yet. And he said, well, just give me a number. Give me a number. Just kept pressing me. I said, okay, 25,000, but don't hold me to it. And he said, you're nuts. You don't know what you're doing. He said, you need to go to this other person who's an appraiser. I said, well, I'm also an appraiser. He said, well, you're crazy. It's worth 200 to 300.
Oh my goodness.
So, why don't you just sell it to me now? Well, I did my research, and all of it came back to, yes, it is. It was from the 1800s. The gentleman's name was William Rainey. We sent it to Sotheby's, and it sold for $80,000.
$80,000, and he said a couple hundred. Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So
that's a great
we have
story.
And we have people trying to do that all the time.
Oh, I bet.
And that's where our experience comes in, that we know.
And your integrity, and your reputation.
Well, and that's the other thing. Everybody kept telling me, well, you bought it then, and then put it on for you. No, I do. I'm for the customer. I put it on for, that would be but
unethical. Yes.
And I can't believe how many people have asked me that.
Oh my goodness.
So we are very transparent. And then there was also a vase, again, not a particularly nice looking vase, but
I'm going to have to look at all my vases at home. That's the second one you said, not particularly good looking.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But this one was Gallet. It was an old vase, and it was Gallet. And again, she thought it was worthless, and we brought in $4,470 for that.
For
so I have tons and tons of these stories that people just don't know what they have.
That's why it's the best to call the expert.
That's right.
That's right. Yes. So we're getting near our time to do our truth or tale, but I wanted to see if you had anything else that you wanted to share with the listeners. Check your notes there.
Nope, I do not. I think that was it.
Yeah, you had some great stories, and people would be foolish not to hire you. Because it sounds like you really know what you're doing, and it helps benefit them and their families, and I'm sure it helps the letting go process make a little bit easier.
Right. Well, and I'm just going to do a little bragging now.
Sure.
I mean, some of the best ones we've done. We did David Wachowski's, Mr. Key West. We did Edward Knight's. We did. Oh, I'm trying to think of her name. Who she used to be a city commissioner. Sally. I can't think of her last name, but anyway, so we've done.
Well, you've been here, let's see, 10, 12, how many years? 2013. So
right.
Yeah.
Sally Lewis, which is the house that's kitty corner on the corner, right by the buoy.
You can tell all of our listeners now are getting the maps out, checking.
That's right.
Let me see that house. Yeah,
that's right.
Excellent.
Yeah. So just sorry, I had to
name drop, of course.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we appreciate you being here and sharing your stories with us. Let's go ahead and do the truth or tale. So I
Okay.
will ask you a question. This is a fast round, and you will determine whether it's truth or tale. And we have
Okay.
our lovely buzzer. So
Okay.
first question. Everything in an estate sale has value. That's true.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Absolutely. We did touch on that. You should keep everything until you move, just in case.
Yes. Nope. You get rid of it all the stuff that you're not really going to use.
And estate sales are only for people who are downsizing. No, and we touched on that. It's for a lot of different reasons that people hire you. You should clear everything out of your home before calling an estate sale company. Nope, because you want to go through and see it all.
Right.
Yes, yes. So hang in there, people.
That's right.
Family members should keep anything they might want before an estate sale is organized. And we did talk about that for sure. Older furniture isn't worth much in today's market.
And that kills me. Again, being an ex-antique dealer, they call it brown furniture now.
Oh, really?
All these things that we
all the real wood furniture.
Yeah, yep. And they're all like, nope, that's just brown furniture.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Estate sales are only for large homes with lots of valuables. And we talked about that. You find vases that aren't so pretty.
Right. Gold
dark
teeth.
Pictures. Every estate sale has at least one item that surprises you.
Absolutely.
Many.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that was great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the time that you've given us today. And let's tell the listeners again how to get in touch with you.
Okay. You can go to the website, Susie's, spelled SUSIES, KeyWestEstateSales.net. Give me a call at area code 708-557-9180 or through our Facebook page, which is Susie's Key West Estate Sales.
All right, great. Thank you. And this is Key West Porch Talk. Thank you for listening today. And remember that I am Ruth, your Keys to the Seas realtor. And you can reach me at 910-409-0120 and look for our podcasts on YouTube and Spotify. And they drop the 1st and 15th, but watch the previous episodes. Talk to you later.